Are you ready for the moment when booking a cheap flight suddenly feels like a financial ambush, when you click confirm and realize the price you saw was basically a lie? Because right now, quietly, almost invisibly, airline fees are about to skyrocket, and most travelers won't understand what hit them until they're already stuck at the airport, swiping their card again and again, wondering how a $299 ticket turned into a $640 nightmare. And here's the part nobody is really explaining clearly. This isn't just about baggage fees or seat selection anymore. This is about a total shift in how airlines think, operate, and squeeze money out of passengers, especially travelers who don't see it coming. And that's why this matters so much for you watching Golden Age Travel Tips. Because if you understand what's happening before everyone else, you can still dodge most of these costs. But if you don't, you'll pay repeatedly and probably without even realizing it. Airlines are entering a phase where the base ticket price is no longer the product. It's just the entry point, the hook, the bait, and everything else. From breathing space to boarding earlier, from charging your phone to speaking with a real human, starts turning into a monetized decision. And the scariest part is how fast this is accelerating. Because fuel prices, labor contracts, airport congestion, aircraft shortages, and shareholder pressure are all colliding at once, forcing airlines to protect profits not by raising ticket prices up front, but by slicing the experience into paid fragments, tiny charges that feel small individually, but destroy your budget collectively. And let me tell you a quick story that sounds extreme, but is becoming normal. A traveler books a domestic flight, basic economy, thinks they're being smart, but then discovers the carry-on costs extra. The checked bag costs more than last year. Seat assignment is locked unless you pay. Boarding later increases the risk of gate check fees, changing the flight. Even within 24 hours, comes with a processing fee. And suddenly the airline app feels less like a travel tool and more like a shopping cart designed to drain you slowly. And airlines know this psychology very well. They know most people won't abandon a booking once they're emotionally committed. Once plans are made, hotels booked, time off approved. So the fees come later, drip by drip. And what's changing now is the scale of this strategy. Because airlines are moving toward dynamic fees, meaning the price you pay for the same service may change based on demand, timing, your frequent flyer status, even how full the flight is predicted to be. So two people sitting next to each other could have paid wildly different amounts just for a seat selection. And this isn't a rumor or theory, it's already happening quietly, tested on certain routes, rolled out in phases, and expanded when passengers don't push back loudly enough. And here, where it gets even more uncomfortable. Airlines are learning how to charge based on urgency, not just service. So if you're booking last minute, changing flights during weather disruptions, or dealing with irregular operations, fees multiply because they know you're trapped. And that's why so many travelers feel like airlines are suddenly meaner, when in reality, they're just more data-driven, more precise, more confident that people will pay rather than cancel. And the golden age of simple airfare pricing is basically over, replaced by an era where the cheapest option is intentionally uncomfortable, stressful, and risky, nudging you to upgrade without explicitly forcing you. And if you think regulators are stopping this, honestly, not really, because most of these fees fall into gray areas that airlines can justify as optional, even when they're functionally unavoidable. And while some travelers shrug and say, "This is just how it is now," the truth is there are still ways to protect yourself. But only if you understand the new rules of the game. Because the biggest mistake people make is comparing ticket prices instead of total trip cost. And airlines love that mistake. They rely on it. Because comparison sites often highlight base fares while burying the extras. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already past the point of no return. And this is especially dangerous for families, older travelers, and infrequent flyers who aren't glued to airline policy updates. Because they're the ones most likely to assume things still work the way they used to, like free seat assignments or reasonable bag allowances, which honestly feels cruel, because travel should feel exciting, not like a financial puzzle designed to punish you for not reading fine print at midnight. And yet here we are, entering a phase where airlines are experimenting with charging for overhead bin space priority, charging more for aisle seats closer to the front, even within the same class. And even exploring subscription-style models, where you pay a monthly fee just to avoid being nickel and dimed. Which sounds convenient until you realize It only makes sense if you fly often, meaning occasional travelers get hit the hardest. And this shift also explains why airline loyalty programs feel less rewarding lately, because miles are being devalued quietly, award availability is tighter, and fees still apply even on free tickets. So your loyalty doesn't protect you the way it used to. And this is where Golden Age Travel Tips exists for a reason. Because the goal isn't to scare you away from flying, it's to help you see clearly, to understand that airlines are not evil, they're businesses responding to pressure, but you don't have to be the easy target. And one of the smartest things you can do right now is change how you book, how you read fare categories, how early you select seats, how you pack, and even how you interact with airline staff during disruptions, because small decisions made early can save hundreds later. And here's something most people don't realize. Airlines often raise fees quietly before peak seasons, then normalize them so by the time everyone notices, it feels permanent. Which is why travelers who stay informed always feel like they're playing a different game, calmer, more confident, less angry at the gate. And that confidence alone changes outcomes, because airlines respond differently to passengers who know the rules. And if you're wondering whether this trend will slow down, honestly, all signs point to no. Because investors reward ancillary revenue growth, not passenger happiness, and until passengers collectively resist or regulations tighten significantly, fees will continue climbing, becoming more complex, more personalized, and harder to predict. Which is why the best defense isn't anger, it's awareness, planning, and strategy. Knowing when basic economy is a trap, knowing when paying slightly more upfront actually saves money overall. Knowing which fees are negotiable during disruptions and which are non-negotiable, and knowing when to walk away and rebook instead of paying out of frustration. And the travelers who master this don't just save money, they save energy, stress, and time, which is priceless, especially as airports get busier and travel becomes more chaotic. And if this sounds overwhelming, that's okay, because it is a lot. But that's exactly why channels like Golden Age Travel Tips matter right now. Because we break this chaos down into clear, usable knowledge, so you don't get caught off guard when airline fees skyrocket, you don't feel stupid for trusting a price that wasn't real, and you don't let a system designed for profit steal the joy of travel from you. And if there's one thing to remember as you plan your next trip, it's this. The cheapest ticket is rarely the cheapest journey anymore, and the travelers who survive this new era aren't the ones with the most money. They're the ones with the most information, calm decisions, and timing on their side. And that's how you stay ahead, while everyone else wonders what just happened.